Yo, do you remember the dream life you built for yourself by the time you're 25?
Yeah. Let's all laugh at that together.
Now you're 30 something and you don't have the car,
The job.
The business.
the spouse, and feeling a little like a mess.
We're here to tell you you're still on track to that dream and doing just fine. I'm Beleza.
I'm Kiki.
I'm Gigi, and this is your podcast. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to 30 and a Mess. Hey y'all, it's your girl Beleza.
It's your girl Kiki.
And you know it's your girl Gigi. And if your life is still in shambles, welcome to the place to come get that all together.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So today, y'all, we talking that talk. Just talk nice to me. It's about communication, communicating with each other today. So how do you guys feel our generation communicates? Like, do you feel that it's healthy? Do you feel that we communicate well? Or do you feel like it's a mess?
So first of all, I feel like our generation has a lot of keywords that we've been given because like we're in a process like of healing and kind of like just changing from what the norm used to be. And so like we have like all these words, like for example, they will call anything toxic, right? But everything not toxic. Some stuff you just don't like. You can't label everything toxic. Like you can't call everybody a narcissist, or you can't say everybody don't know how to communicate. Just because you're not understanding how they communicate does not mean that they don't know how to communicate.
That's
like
fact.
Sometimes you're just not understanding. And then I also think that people are not tolerant like they used to be of other people's opinions. And they feel like if somebody has an opinion, oh no, you wrong, you this, you that, like you a dog. They just kind of like dog you out because you don't have the same opinion as them. Woo. I don't like that. I don't think that's effective communication.
That's facts.
Yeah,
It's like I heard what you said, but this is what I'm feeling, and this is what this means, and that's it, point blank. Like I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. That's not communicating. That's not.
No, it's not. And I think we're in the middle. It just depends on where we are in generations. To Gigi's point, there's this whole quote unquote triggered trauma that every time you say something, it's a trigger word or it's trauma, and we're trying to figure it out. Like, yo, first of all, just talk to me. Let's just talk. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you do like. It's like we're trying to get to know each other. So let me understand what you like and what you don't like, but it don't have to be like that deep. And then I think to Gigi's point, we're healing. We're the generation that's healing and trying to do better to break all these so-called, I don't want to say traditions, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. Like break things that, bad habits from the past.
Generational curses.
I don't want to say generation curses because curses is harsh. Do you know what a curse is?
That's what it feels like.
Right, but
I think it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. My bad.
No, you're good. I just think curses. I think the word curse is harsh. Curse is something where something put it on, like someone literally put something on you and wished you death or something bad. And I think it's just bad habits that we picked up because of things that has happened within the family structure. Everybody has a different story, so you just don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the younger generation, they're quick to correct everyone. It's like, whoa, wait, I didn't even mean that statement like that. But they're just, to Gigi's point, they don't want to hear nothing. They don't want to understand anything. They hear a sentence. If it doesn't make sense to them, it was rude. It was disrespectful. They don't understand where the other person's coming from. They just want to just attack. And it's like, hold on.
Yeah, to both of you guys' point, I feel like we are in that middle ground because we come from a generation that was told you don't speak unless you're spoken to. You don't ask any questions, you just do. And they don't get to express themselves. They don't get to speak. They don't get to really come to almost like a consensus of, well, how do I feel about this? Or, whatever their feelings are on any given situation. They didn't get that option. So when they're raising us, they really didn't give us that option either. But we also have to remember the times that their parents came from as well. So their parents are the generation of coming out of slavery, kind of in that being a part of segregation, stuff like that. So a lot of times their parents' generation was more so like, okay, if you speak, if you try to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, this could get you killed. So don't do that. And as they're navigating in a new system, in a new world, and raising us, we don't necessarily see that, but that's all they get to know. So now we were raised in an unhealthy communication space, but we're trying to move it more towards healthy communication. So it's this, I personally feel like it's almost a mess for us because we're trying to navigate, okay, when do we be quiet and when do we talk? I do agree that I feel like in some aspects, the new generation, they take things a little too far. You know, they're very outspoken, but at the same time, is that necessarily unhealthy, or are we just not used to that?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things going on. Like to Beleza's point, I think that curse is very heavy. That's a very heavy word. I think we're in the process of rewriting our blueprints that we have been given or passed down to us. We no longer want to dwell in that what we used to fear of speaking out or fear of like doing things beyond what we're allowed to do. And so with that comes like that rough patch to calibrate. So of course we're on one extreme, we used to be like really quiet, not really outspoken, and on the other extreme we're really outspoken, and hopefully the pendulum swings to the middle where we can kind of have like a not a happy medium, but a kind of like, I don't know, some headway with communicating. Hopefully we'll see that one day.
Right. I do believe it's getting there. I definitely believe it's getting there. And with that being said, what do you guys feel that your communication style is?
My communication style is very direct, and it's frustrating because people take it as an insult when I speak. And it's not, that's not it, or they'll take it the wrong way. But I'm just direct and assertive when I speak. I speak with confidence, and so I don't know, they take it very aggressively. And I'm like, it's not even aggressive. It's how I'm talking now, but I'm direct, I'm to the point, and that's it. Like, I'm just direct and to the point.
Yeah, I don't know. So it depends. Like, if I feel like this person is going to be like a firecracker, it's going to be more of a headache for me to speak up, my communication style is silence. Like, I'm not, who would light a bomb on, like, who would set a bomb up just so you can stand next to it? Like, nobody's doing that. Like, I'm not participating in that. But if this person, I think that they can handle like some words of encouragement or like words of alternative perspective, then I'm gonna present it. But if I feel like they can't handle anything or they're gonna be flying off the handles, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna look at them making their mistakes, look at them running themselves into the ground. I'm just gonna just watch the train wreck. I'm not with myself with that.
Now, I will say this: over the years, I've learned to understand other people's styles, and unfortunately, and I'm gonna use the word unfortunately, cater to them because I'm more understanding that you need to be spoken to this way. However, I feel like I'm not respected. And listen, just give it to me direct. I don't need the whole fluff and then talk to me what you really wanted to talk to me about. Tell me what you called me for.
Why you on my phone, ho?
Like, what are we really talking about? What are we really talking about?
Well, why do you feel there is a disconnect in terms of how you feel you communicate to people and how they receive it?
Wait, well, how do you communicate?
Over. So look, this person apparently
I just didn't want to miss the moment to ask that. Dang.
She tried it.
Get to me. But for the listeners out there, me personally, I actually believe that I am a passive communicator. And that's more so because I'm teetering on the lines of what do I feel is really worth a fight in terms of arguing back and forth, or even just getting my point across. Because I realize nowadays a lot of people within my space, they don't necessarily listen. Or they don't necessarily, I would say they listen to respond and not necessarily listen to actually listen. So a lot of times, the space that I operate in, I kind of let people have it unless it's something that I stand for or that I'm not budging on. So if that occurs, I become a lot more assertive in the way that I speak. But for the most part, I actually believe that I'm more of a passive, I have more of a passive communication style. I've never really had pushback on my style of communication, but I will say, well, of course, because it's passive, I let people kind of talk their talk without giving a lot of input. But I will say the moments that I am assertive, that's when I start to notice a lot of pushback. And it's very interesting.
Yes.
It's very, very interesting. But that's a space that I'm navigating in currently, because I've noticed over time I'm becoming more assertive in certain aspects. And, I still keep my passive assertive. And because of that, it's more so like if I feel like I have a stance on something, I'm going to take that stance. And I really don't care what anybody else has to say after that, because I took my stance. And if you don't respect what I'm saying, then there's no need to continue on in the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now. But I would say in my 20s, I was very passive. Like, it was whatever. It literally was just like. So back to my other question that y'all just really interrupted me.
We couldn't help it. We couldn't help it.
We did. We sure enough did.
How do you feel that, what is the disconnect that you guys feel in terms of how you feel you communicate to others and how they actually respond?
The disconnect?
If there's a disconnect, if you feel there's no disconnect, then that's fine. But if you feel there is a disconnect, why do you think that's so?
I'm not even gonna lie. Go ahead, Beleza. You got it. You first. You be my guest. Go ahead, you first.
For me, because I am sure in what I'm saying when I speak, I don't speak unless I try my best not to speak unless I know what I'm gonna say. So when I speak with, I hate the word assertiveness, but directness. I'm assertive, and I'm looking directly at you. I'm trying to understand like what, whatever the conversation is. So I think the disconnect with the person that I'm speaking to is I have an attitude. And it's not that I have an attitude. I'm just talking to you on a very like direct, passionate way. Like, we're just talking. Like how I talk now, people take as me having an attitude, even if I ask a question. And I think that's where the disconnect is. But the funny part is, if I meet somebody or if I'm getting to know someone, I let them know, like, my intentions are always pure when I speak. So don't get offended on my tone, because it's out of love. It's when they continue to try and correct me, and I'm like, well, what did I say? What did I say that made you feel like I gave an attitude? And they can never give me an answer, but it's because of my tone. Even though they don't say it, it has to be my tone, because it's not necessarily the words that I speak.
So for me, I think a lot of times the disconnect comes from when you are, when I am speaking, sometimes I miss information that the other person might not have. And so, or they might be telling me something that I need more information for in order for me to like actually retain it or like be able to respond to the information. So I think that's where the disconnect comes from when I communicate with people and people communicate with me. Sometimes it can be my tone, because I do come off a little dry sometimes, and I am also a very not analytical, but I'm a very like logical person sometimes, and a lot of times my friends even say I come off like an asshole, even though that's not the case. Like,
you are an asshole.
I'm not at all.
She's not, y'all. She's not.
Why she come at you like that?
She's not, y'all. I just wanted to say that.
But you have said that to me though before, though. You're like, Gigi, that's That was an asshole. Like, you didn't have to say that. Like,
Progress, though. That was growth.
that was
Y'all,
growth.
we've known each other for almost 15 years, right? Since college. So, like,
Damn, it's been
been a
that
minute.
long.
Growth.
Oh my God, we did
Amazing.
meet in 2007.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, girl.
Damn, that's wild.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, like like if I'm saying something that's like obvious, I might not add like intonation and it comes off like a little dry, and so people think I'm trying to like make them feel stupid when that's not the case. Um, so I think a lot of times people do get wrapped up in tone, but I also think that it's tone and what you say and how you say it is important. Like I think that is
how you
hand
say
in
it.
hand.
Yeah, how you
Because
say
you
it
could be like,
is very
oh, those are some nice shoes, or you could be like, those are some nice shoes, or you could like, like that's
how you say
those sound like two different things, even though you're saying those are nice shoes, like.
Yeah,
So
definitely
what
how
you
you
say
say
and how you say it is important.
Yeah, how you say it is very important.
Yep, I agree. Because depending on how you say something, that's how, people could take something completely out of context. Just on how you said it. And you could have meant very well by it, but because they took it in a different tone, this is why I try to avoid the text message talk too. Because so many people take a statement out of text message to be like, oh, this is what you said. It is like, well, I didn't say it like that. How did you create a tone in my text message?
Right.
But yeah, I definitely agree that tone definitely has to come across especially it's just as important as what you're actually saying.
Yeah.
And for me, I would say the disconnect for me is actually the fact that I've been passive for quite some years. So when I started to be a little bit more assertive, people actually take offense to it. And I think that's very interesting. And please understand that assertive is not aggressive. I think there's two very different things on that. I feel like when I'm assertive, I'm stating my side of things, but I'm also in a place of compromising. So it's not, and I'm actively listening, but I feel like when people think of assertive, they think of aggressive, which is more hostile. And I don't speak hostilely to anybody. So when I say assertive, I don't mean I'm aggressive. I just mean that I take a stance and try to come to a compromise. So just making that clear out there.
Yes. Say it again for the people in the back, Keith.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of times when I'm operating in my assertive space, that's when I get the most pushback. I've gotten so many people even say, well, whoa, I never even thought you would ever say no to me. And I'm like,
facts.
And I'm saying no this time, and that's okay. You should be okay with that because that is my boundary. And at least I'm coming out and being like, hey, I can't do this for you.
Yep.
So, it's just a matter of how you operate with different people. I did hear Beleza say that you're starting to come down to the communication style of the people that you're speaking to. So I feel that that's the only way that you can get your message across. And do you care what people think in terms of your communication?
Yes, I feel that is the only way to get your message across. You can't force somebody who is not at your level to come up to your level when you're trying to communicate with them. Like, you're not going to speak to a child the same way you would speak to a 15-year-old. You're not going to speak to a 15-year-old the same way you would speak to the elderly. Like, you are going to change your message and change your tone and change the way what you're talking about based on who you're speaking to because you want them to receive the message.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like that? What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
I said, do you even care how people think in terms of how you speak to them? Like, does it even matter?
Oh yeah, I care because when you're in leadership, for one, you want people to be able to follow you. Well, not follow you, but you want people to want to do what you need them to do, right? So of course you're gonna have a little bit level of care when you're in those positions. But people off the street, I don't care what you think of me. Like, I don't care. You're not stopping my productivity at work. You're not stopping my money. You're not affecting me in any other way. So I don't care what you think. But people that I work with and I love and I'm, around day to day that I need to get things done or like that make my life a living hell or can make my life happy, I care. I care a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I care. I know I care too much, but I still care. That's the song of the episode, y'all. I don't know if I necessarily care as much as I did before. Catch me a few years ago, I did care. Now it's more so, it's not that I don't care, but if you're not going to address me and tell me how you want to be communicated, then I don't care.
Okay.
Because again, I've made it very clear to you, this is how I communicate. This is my communicate style. And so let me know how you communicate so then we can, cater to each other. And so I understand what to say, what not to say, or how to say things and how to not say things. So if you're not giving me that communication, especially with somebody that we've had conversations about this over and over and over and over again, absolutely not. Because at this point, you're not giving me what I need to be better.
Do you have, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have an acceptance to that policy, to your stance? Like, is there any way that, because I'm not gonna lie, I do think that I'm undiagnosed with ADHD. I'm not gonna lie, and I think it's getting worse as I'm getting older because it's been undiagnosed and I've been using workarounds to deal with everyday life. But there are times where I literally do forget. Like, you have to jog my memory on something, or I might hear the information, but I didn't digest it the way I needed to be able to retain it or to be able to understand it. So it's hard. Yeah, you could work on it, but I think I need some extra assistance. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, for me, it's not, because again, I understand that you're frustrated in how we communicate. But again, I'm asking you, how can I help you help me?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So for instance, if me and you get into an argument because of the communication style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that a little too off. Well, how did I say it? Let me know how I said it. Well, you said it like this. Okay, I got you. So now next time I can be better and make sure I don't say it that way.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Right. But if you can't give me an example, or not even an example, if you just can't tell me you know what, I like softer tones. When I hear assertiveness, this is how
talk to me nice.
Yeah, talk to me nice.
Talk
to me nice. Talk to me smooth. Talk to me nice.
That ish to
Give me
me.
that jazz voice. Then I'll be like, okay, I will try my best. I will try my best. But if I'm gonna cater to you, you gotta cater to me too. If I'm telling you keep going around the conversation and I'm telling you to be direct, I need you to be direct. Because at this part, I'm doing my best to be better, and you're not even giving me half a step.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, that's facts. And I personally try to meet people where their communication style is, just because if I want to get my point across, I feel that I have to make that person comfortable to navigate the space that I need them to navigate. So a lot of times I will try to meet somebody, if I see where their communication style is, I'll try to meet them there versus try to bring them to where I am.
Yeah. And then sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
To Gigi's point, because I feel like I never answered your second question. If they're people that are growing, like mentees or younger people, I do tend to cater to them because they're still growing, they're still trying to understand how to communicate, especially with elders. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm not their aunt or
you're supposed to call us old people. That's dead wrong.
I mean, I said elders. You know what I'm saying? But we
are
old.
The aunties, okay? The aunties.
Old. Right. Compared to them, we're old. They 15. Yeah, we aunties. We're aunties now. So, I want them to feel comfortable in coming. So that assertiveness a lot of times could scare them.
Pretty
much the same. Like she stated, like I said before, I try to meet people at their communication style, but I do switch how I communicate based off of the audience that I'm coming to. So I'm not going to speak the same way to somebody who's a teenager than somebody who's my age.
Yeah.
Because I will expect somebody my age to have enough life to understand communicating versus somebody who's 15 who hasn't grown to that level yet.
I like that. Enough life. You need to have enough life to rock.
Enough life experience, you know. So, but you know, that does not mean common sense is common, because I've noticed a lot of people lack social cues as well.
Yeah.
We all out here got a touch of Asperger's. Just, you know.
Listen,
we all on the spectrum,
baby. Some people, I'm like, yo, what is going on?
What is happening?
I feel like I'm being very direct in what I'm saying, but you're not picking up what I'm putting down.
It's just that robot, like, communication is also messed up by technology too, because, you know, like, before we wasn't able to text like this. I'm telling you, like, texting will have you all messed up with your friend just because you read it wrong, because you was in your feelings.
Yeah.
Literally, your friend could be like, if you want, you can do this and that third, and you will be taking it like, oh, she trying to be funny. Like, what she mean if I want? Like, I don't understand. Like, how she gonna tell me something and tell me if I want? Like, I don't, like, you know, like, that it's one text that you took out of, like, you took out of context because you can't hear their voice. You can't see their face. Like, you're not looking in their eyes. You don't know where they coming from. And then also, like, video chat is available too, but sometimes we're not always available to be on video, you know, like,
yeah.
And then phone is still nice. I mean, it's very rare, but it's still nice. I love me some phone conversations. But yeah, like, technology has had a huge impact on communicating. Like, I remember when the first time I went to the club, like, probably like 2000 and maybe 16, 17, and everybody there was younger and it was on their phones, and I was looking around like, y'all paid €20 to get in here to stand around and be on your phone? Like, y'all not even talking to each other. Like, what?
Yeah,
meanwhile, I'm dancing, sweating out all the alcohol I drank that night. Dancing from the time I get in there to the time I'm leaving. I'm like, they is tripping. I'm gonna get my money's worth.
For real.
Yeah, but that's where that's where a lot of lack of communication is coming from too, because now we're navigating almost completely in technology. So people are missing social cues because we're not having those face-to-face interactions.
Yeah.
No wonder why people just showing up ready to fuck, because, like, they think because they talked to you a few times on the phone. They be showing up, girl, with their dick out. I'm like, what is happening?
That's because they're like, I got all I need on your page. I'm good. That's all I needed to see. We good. No talking.
Oh my gosh. I can't with y'all.
I'm like, sir, I don't even know you. Put that thing away. I'm like, you treat all the ladies like this? What's happening? I feel like a prude these days. Like, I don't even know.
Lord. Now, don't lie to the people now, Gigi. Don't lie.
What you mean don't lie? What you mean?
A prude?
I do feel like a prude. I'm telling you, I be sending pics and I be like, oh my God, block, report. Like, I'm not I'm not messing around. I'm not messing around. I'm serious. Like, they be like, hi. And then I'll say hi back. Next thing you know, boom, penis photo. I'm like, dang, like, what happened? Like,
I don't
like, that escalated so fast
until a little later.
Nah, they be coming on a scene with them for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just look like sex to them. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
I don't have nothing provocative on my page.
To you.
Like, ain't no titties out.
I see all that I need to see.
They got nutted on your
coochie crack hanging out. Ain't nothing out.
They done nutted to all of your profile pictures.
Well, they didn't pay me. Where my fee at?
OnlyFans, girl.
Right, you need to hop over. We are not promoting OnlyFans, y'all.
We are not.
This is not an endorsement for OnlyFans. Do not have that.
But OnlyFans, if you want to.
We ain't mad if you're doing it, but this is not our endorsement for that.
It is really not. I wouldn't, I wouldn't put you up to anything that you don't want to do yourself. So,
What do you guys feel that you're easily annoyed with how communication is now?
Yeah, it could be frustrating. Yeah, I'm not easily annoyed, but I get I don't like drama. I feel like they bring my vibration lower when they're not communicating effectively.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
And then they're so bent on misunderstanding that they don't even give you a chance to explain yourself. And so yeah, I don't really get frustrated. I just disengage. Like, my brain just shuts off. I be logging out. everything. Like I don't be trying to reload nothing. Like go ahead and log out for me because this conversation is over. Like
Yeah, I do that. I mean, depending on where you fit in my life. To Gigi's point, like if it's somebody at work and they're not even trying to understand me, but I understand what they're saying, I hit the Gigi. Okay. And they be like, you see where I'm coming from? I do. I got you. And I just won't. I just won't engage anymore.
No, and damn well in your head, you're like, it don't even matter where you come from. Just stop talking to me at this point.
Right. It's like, we're not getting anywhere. Like, we're not getting anywhere. But if it's somebody that I do care about, like as far as like family or friends or something like that, it may bother me a bit, especially when especially if my intentions are like really pure. It's not even an argument. It's just like, yeah, but I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me. But
well, it's so funny because like there's moments, Beleza, and you've seen me where I just get like irrationally, unacceptably like I'm not trying to hear shit. Like one time, I don't know how many of my friends this has happened to between me and them. I'll be trying to cross the street, and they'll put their arm out in front of me to keep me from getting ran over. Like to keep me from getting ran over, and I'll slam their arm down like they in my way.
like,
and look
your
at
hands
crazy,
off
and then I have to stop it. I'm like, my bad. Like, thank you. Like, my bad. They be looking at me like, you are some of a few friends that has happened with. Like Beleza definitely happened with my friend Rachel, my friend Aisha. Like, it's like more than one person. Like, it's not like a one off. Like, this is something I do.
But with you in saying that is another thing, and I don't know if we're gonna touch on it later, but understanding their communication style, just understanding them. Like, it's not that it's an excuse, but you need to also understand that this is who they are, or this is who I am. So just understand that.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be so difficult always.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Do you guys feel that that you have certain habits that makes it difficult for someone to communicate with you?
No.
Sometimes. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gigi.
Yes.
You go first.
Yes.
You go first, Gigi.
Yes. I think sometimes because I've been in such a fight mode all the time growing up that sometimes I just automatically go on the defense even though somebody's like literally trying to help me or trying to like communicate something with me. So yeah, I do think sometimes because I've had to defend myself so much that I do need a moment when someone's trying to explain something to me that makes it difficult for them to explain. Because first of all, I'll be like, what you mean by that? What you trying to say there? Like, and they be looking at me like, oh my God, like this is not an argument. Is this like, are we about to argue?
It's like, is this really an argument?
And I'm like, yes, we are. Like, it's not. And then anybody who's known me for a little bit, they understand that I'm harmless. I'm harmless. But I will pop my shit. Like I will talk shit for a little bit. And then once you like let me calm down a little bit and then you tell me, I'm willing to understand. I'm like, oh, I get what you're saying. I wasn't hearing that before. And they be looking at me like, what the fuck were you hearing? Like I was saying the same sentence.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that I definitely have a lot of blind spots that I don't realize until I'm in those moments where a misunderstanding is happening. But it's only when in those moments when a misunderstanding is happening with people who understand me already. Because people who don't know me, they be like, "Oh shit, let me just shut the fuck up." Like I'm not saying nothing else. Like they don't even try to like recover or nothing. They just be like, we're gonna call a timeout. We're gonna leave this subject alone. Like they don't even like try to like communicate further with me. But people who know me, they're like, okay, all right, Gigi, are you listening? Are you listening? I hear you what you're saying, but this is what I'm telling you. Like this is what I'm saying. And I'll be like, what you mean by that? And they'll say it again. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what you mean? And then they'll say it again, and then I'll repeat it back to them. And if the message that I'm receiving is not their message, they'll correct me in the wording or they'll correct me in like what I heard. And I'll be like, oh my God, like that's what you're saying. Okay, I get it now. Because our brains are all wired differently, like we not all thinking the same and looking the same and walking the same. Like that would be a boring ass life.
Yeah.
But what about for you, Kiki? Like, what frustrates you when it comes to communication? And also, your second question too, because you just over here trying to skate by
Listen,
and
I
not
be ready
answer
for
the
the next question,
question.
bro.
I feel like
Y'all say something, I'll be like,
I
oh,
feel
let me
like
answer this real
you
quick.
don't want to be understood. I feel like you don't want to communicate because you're being passive and you're not
Being
trying to answer the question.
being passive.
She's like, you're doing it again.
There
That's a
you
good
are
one.
doing it again.
That was good. That was good.
You know what? I will say this. For me, like I said, in all my years, I've always been more of a passive communicator. And that's just because of just how I was raised. I was raised to have to kind of be quiet to let others kind of like maneuver in my space. So growing up, I've always thought that that was a healthy way of communicating. Just let everybody else kind of move the way they want to move. I also realized in growing up, people are going to be people. So for me, it's really like for me to like start something or get it, like if somebody is really assertive or, you know, getting a little hype in their own conversation, I just let them have it. Like, it's not really not that deep for me. It's really not. So I just let people have their moments and things of that nature. I will say now, where I'm at right now in my life, I've kind of pulled back a lot in communicating. Like I'm realizing now that just talking about my own feelings and where I stand and stuff is exhausting. Like I just don't want to do it. So I'm trying to find that balance where I have to have healthy communications with people around me and making sure they understand the space that I am in so that they're not thinking I'm being standoffish. But at the same time, creating certain boundaries for myself where I don't have to speak or I don't have to come to anybody's level for them to understand me. So I think that's where I'm at right now, which is a hot mess, y'all. It is a hot mess. I'm learning to be better about this. I promise y'all. But I feel like once I figure out that space, I will be good. But I'm definitely in this weird middle ground where I'm still passive in certain aspects. I'm becoming more assertive in other aspects. And then I'm very quiet. Of my movement. And people are just like, well, where'd you go? Why are you not talking? Or why don't you call? And I'm just like, because I don't want to. And I don't want to anything. I don't want to explain anything that I'm doing either. So I'm working on that, just being better and communicating with at least the loved ones around me. So, yes, because you know, my friends, they at least deserve to know if I'm disappearing or something. They should know. Feel
Big
like
facts.
I'm off the face of the earth.
Big facts.
What's like your level of patience with people now?
Oh, I have a lot of patience still. And then remember, y'all, I stated in the last episode, I used to advise some college kids. So, I mean, patience. My patience has probably grown 10 times more than what it already was, which says a lot. And I've dealt with a lot of, excuse my language, fuck boys. Still had patience. And then I love kids, and kids you just need automatic patience for it. So my patience is I would say it's pretty up there. It would take a lot for me to go there for anything.
If you was to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put it?
My patience level?
Yeah.
I'd give it a strong 9.
Okay. What about you, Gigi?
Let me see. Man, I am really a person who lives in their emotion, and I don't hide anything of that. So it depends on what I'm feeling like for that day. I'm not even gonna lie. Like some days, man, listen, if that hook grab my belt buckle when I'm trying to get in that door, it's on. You kind of like walk past the door and like you get hooked on something. Oh, it's over. Everything is like pissing me off. But if it's one of those days where I'm like having an amazing day, I slept well, my hair is done, I'm looking cute, my patience is infinite. Like I don't even like nothing bothers me. Like I don't even what do you call register any of the disrespect if someone is like not communicating effectively or if they're like being disrespectful or whatever they're doing with their communication does not affect me when I'm having like one of my good days. But my bad day where everything is like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna have too much patience. I think I'm gonna hurt some feelings.
I concur.
And it's not even gonna be any yelling or anything. It's gonna be like a few short words, and they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Wow, wow." But I'm trying to grow from that. Like, I really am trying to grow from that. But I haven't been in that place in a long time to even feel like my patience is that short. Well, until I got to New York, it's a little. I'm on edge here, man.
I mean, that's the environment, girl. New York ain't nothing to play with.
It's
ain't.
not.
That is not for the weak of heart.
Nope. It's brutal.
And
I think the level of patience, bringing up New York, like the South again, is very, I don't want to use the term sensitive, but you do have to come across a little different speaking to people who were born and raised down here.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's sensitive. I think the emotional intelligence is just a little bit more heightened. Whereas in New York, like, emotional intelligence is heightened, but it's like covered up with all this hardness and grittiness, and like it's cold and gloomy here. Like like they got a lot to be holding on to here.
That's a good way of looking at it, though.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah,
some of them they're all tough, but they got them soft, gooey centers. They feelings be hurt.
Yeah.
They marshmallow insides.
Yeah.
That's a trigger word, Kiki. She says I'm a marshmallow inside.
I'm triggered. You calling me fat?
She trying to be mad thug about stuff and then be having the gooey insides. Like, girl.
Yep.
You don't go
Guilty.
True indeed.
I would say the same. My patience level is pretty infinite. Like, it really takes a lot to get under my skin. And if you decide to do everything you can to get under my skin, I ain't holding back. Whatever comes with it. But I will say that my patience level is pretty up there. Like, I could sell it. I could sell it on eBay because I just always
on eBay. Are people still shopping on eBay, by the way?
Yes.
I believe they are.
Absolutely.
It's like it's a whole nother business.
See, eBay didn't even come up during the Panera. Like, I didn't hear nothing about them.
Well, you know what? Amazon is because they got that 2-day delivery. It'll be at your door in 8 hours.
Fast.
Yeah, you still got to wait for eBay. But eBay, you can find that vintage stuff that everybody looking for.
Yeah.
That's true. You got a point there.
Yep. But yeah, I can definitely sell like my patience level because I really don't let anything bother me. And like I said, if it is something that starts to get under my skin, I vocalize it and then I back away from it. Like,
if I'm a 9, Kiki is a strong 15.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna try to bring the level down. Like, if someone try to bring it up, like, you added 10, I need you to come back to a 2.
I've never seen somebody with that kind of patience.
Because, bro, it took me even though I've developed that patience early on, it took me some very serious situations that happened in my life early on for me to develop that patience. Like, there was things that have happened to me and I had to say to myself, I cannot get angry or it will turn out bad for me. So
okay, Hulk.
Learn to be patient. Just learn people, navigate, and just understand why people feel the way they feel, understand their communication style. And if I can understand that, then it will help to navigate away from anger. So that's how I've been operating. And it's been working very well for me, I will say. Like, I think the way I use patience for myself and for others, I think people respond better to me when I'm operating in a space of patience.
Yeah.
Do you think that could build up though after a while? Because you have to have like some type of outlet for that.
I do have outlets. Like, I have friends and, my fiance who I speak to if I am frustrated about anything, but it's never to the point of I feel the need to fight somebody or I gotta like throw something. Like, I never let anger and stuff build up to that spot because, like I said, people are people. And I thank the Lord in these more recent years, I've never really had people come at me in a way that I feel is so disrespectful. And I think that's because of how I communicate with people. Like, I come to them respectfully. I try to speak to their communication style. So therefore they respond to me in a more positive light.
Well, we too old to be out here fighting. Like,
yeah,
I got 50K in my teeth done. Like, I'm not fighting nobody. Like, I'm sorry, we're not fighting. Fighting for
You
what?
sound like Meg Thee Stallion when she was like, "Do you know how expensive it is to get my hair and nails done?"
Bro.
Right? I'm not gonna be out here fighting with you. Ho, you going to jail.
Right.
Like, we not fighting.
We're not doing
You're
it.
raising my blood pressure. I absolutely not.
Dude, as tight as my Achilles tendons be, I ain't trying to be out here with all tore up, trying to fight you. This is My knees is bad from volleyball years. We is not doing this.
My knees is bad from dropping down and getting my eagle on. That was before the Meg Thee Stallion era.
I can't. I can't.
I can't. I don't got them
Back
knees.
all crazy from deadlifting wrong. I ain't be out here fighting you. We is not out here fighting, ho.
Just in learning communication with people, if somebody was to get there with you, do you feel you will instigate the situation more, or do you feel you'll try to be more of a peacemaker?
I probably would be the peacemaker because I'm like, whoa, what you not gonna do is?
That's your go-to statement. What you not gonna do?
Kiki has seen it. I've tried to de-escalate. However, that one was a perfect example. Try to de-escalate. But at the same time, if you're going to be disrespectful or threaten me, now we're having a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a whole nother conversation. And it still won't be, I won't be cursing you out like, oh, bitch, da-da-da-da-da. It's just going to be like, what you're not going to do is disrespect me or threaten me or anybody else in this room.
Absolutely.
So you need to take a moment and step outside. But what we're not going to do is raise our voice for no reason.
Yeah.
Or because you feel some type of way. If you feel some type of way, walk away and take a moment. But we're not going to do this here. I've even done it with my perfect. But this person, you know, they dropped the ball on their end. I was like, listen, let's review this. Oh, no, everything's fine. Send it to the bigger boss. So I said, okay, cool. I'm going to send it to the bigger boss. Sent it to the bigger boss. The bigger boss had issues on things that could have been fixed. The person comes to me and is like, yo, we got to fix this. And like the attitude was on like 1,500.
She was at 1,500. She should have came back down to a 2.
Right. So there was 2 things that happened. The first one was she was like, you know what? Let me just take over and do it. And I was like, no. If I'm the one who's to correct this, you tell me what I need to correct and I'll correct it because I'm owning it. And I was that calm. And then she was like, well, it just should have been. I was like, and I asked you, I was like, I was like, hold on. First of all, I can feel your hostility on me. So if you're upset, let's talk about that first. Because what I can't keep doing is trying to edit what we need for our leadership. And you're talking to me like this because from my understanding, I asked you multiple times yesterday if we can go over this document and you said it was okay. So now we just need to understand that we need to get this fixed because of what we didn't prepare for the day before. But the attitude with me is really unnecessary. And she took a moment and she was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I definitely should have checked it yesterday. I'm just agitated. This is not. And I was like, and I understand that, but you doing it towards me isn't fair because it's not my fault that it's not edited the way that she would like it to be. And so she apologized. But when I told you I got off that phone and was pissed the fuck off.
I was about to say you was hot.
I was hot.
I know you was hot.
I was so hot. But it's like moments like that where it's okay for others to have that attitude. But imagine if I had that same attitude. You know what I mean? I don't think it's fair. But again, that's where that patience come in and just taking a moment to breathe. Just take a moment to breathe.
For me, I'm at work. I'm not even gonna lie. On the inside, I'll be going off. I'll be going off. I'll be going off. When I say I'll be going off on the inside. But being the first Black division chief where I work, like I can't. First Black woman division chief. I'm pretty sure they have Black division chief males. I have to conduct myself in a way that is poised. A lot like Katanji. Shout out to her. I love you, boo.
Absolutely.
The pressure.
But, like we can't just be in there. Just we can't be in reactive mode. We really can't. And so for me, I just talk in the same tone I speak the first time. Like, so if I want something done, I just say, hi, like, I would like this and this and this done. And then if I have somebody with some crazy wild energy, then I just be like, yes, I would like this and this and this done. Yes, I would like this and this and this done. And then I was like, no, thank you. They're like, if they offer something that like, well, you should be doing, I'm like, no, thank you. Mm-mm.
Oh,
No, thank you. I won't be doing that. But you can get it done. And if you need my assistance, let me know. Like, so for me, I have to be way more poised in a professional setting. But baby, when it comes to the streets, I am not poised.
a whole nother story.
My facial expression be showing what I'm feeling on the inside. My tone gets a lot deeper. You know how us women be speaking when we get upset? Her voice gets a little bit deeper, and I get, I get Remy Ma on them,
Yeah, to be real, that's gonna be a whole nother podcast, just being African American women in corporate. Like, I can only imagine having to stifle some things just because of how they feel you come across.
Yeah,
not just stifle, but you have
a segment
for the longevity of your career. You have to be able to code switch. I'm sorry, like,
absolutely.
When I actually wrote one of my essays was about that, and when I was at UConn, it was called double consciousness. Like, we literally have to be able to see ourselves through both lenses, like what white people see and what Black people see, and it's so interesting, or what other cultures see versus what our own culture see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, that pretty much boils up to like the communication at work. I am still learning how to communicate though, because I'm not good at it. Like, I just expect, like, I give you the assignment and you just go. Like, my other team, I'm so used to them. Like, my other team, they knew if I had like a list of things I needed to get done, I would give it to them and they would just go do it. But this team, I have to learn how to communicate more effectively with them.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part about being a manager or being over a team, because you have to understand, one, everybody's style is different. Two, how do I get across the same thing without saying it 50 different times? So it's difficult, but that's why you guys are in leadership positions.
Yeah, for me, I'm a trainer, so I have to teach a wide range of people's different communication style, learning style, listening style.
Yeah.
So for me, it is a lot easier for me to operate in that space of kind of switching up, like pretty much remaining a peacemaker, but switching up how I'm going to come across to people. That's literally my job.
Right.
To do that.
Right.
But do you guys feel like it's the same? Which I'll tell you right now, for me, it's not. But do you feel the same way that you communicate at work is the same that you do for friends and family? Do you feel like you can be more direct with your friends and family?
Yes, I feel like I can be. That's a leading question, Your Honor. And I'm just kidding. Yes, I feel like I can be more direct with my friends and family, but they also don't pay me a paycheck. So I don't know if that is the cost of being direct. Like, you can be direct, but we're not gonna pay you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's what's going on. Or I don't know if they just understand me better. Like I was saying, like the cultural thing, like they understand if I'm asking a question, or if I'm speaking about something, it's not to find somebody doing something wrong, or it's not to like write anybody up. Like, they don't have that same understanding. Like when you speak to your friends and family, like they don't have any stress or anything weighing on them that makes them interpret what you're saying to be so heavy. Whereas when you're in leadership, like they like everything you say or question is really it's taken heavily.
I try my best to be me, because to your point, code switching is exhausting. So when it comes to, and let's just talk about communication and patience, there's code switching is a whole lot more than that. But when it comes to that portion, I try to be the same throughout all. I think the most that I can be direct is probably with my best friend. But other than that, I find it, even with friends and family, that because I am just so direct, that some people can't take that directness. And it's nothing towards them. It's something that I have to work on as a person. Like, you're not always right just because that's who you are. Sometimes you just need to understand that everyone cannot take 100% of you all the time, and you have to kind of check yourself at the door at times. So I do my best to make sure, okay, if I say this, will they even think about being offended? Because, I have a lot of friends and family who are sensitive, just like me. I'm sensitive too. But there are things that I may say that they can take wrong. And so I do have to watch how I say things still.
Yep, I agree with Bella's statement. Like for me, I do still check myself with friends and family. Like I said, depending on however they are, the communication style, how sensitive they may be, depending on what the information is. I do check myself in those aspects because, like I said, I want to meet them where they communicate at so they can hear me. Yeah. But when I don't think it's as much as in a work setting. I will say that I don't have to stifle myself as much with friends and family as I would in a work setting. But like to Gigi's point, that's, work is paying me. So I definitely have to make sure I'm staying and doing the right stuff. But when it comes to friends and family, I do still have to stifle some things to make sure that it's coming across where they can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't. My friends and family don't talk about anything that deep for me to have to like, cause my directness, I think I'm still direct, like even now, but we also don't have anything deep going on. Like,
ain't nothing going on over here.
Yeah, but I don't even think it has to be deep. It could be, my jokes are a little dry. So if my jokes can come off like, damn, why you have to say it like that? But that's just my joke. You know what I'm saying? And they might not take it as a joke.
But that's I'll be cracking up when you be talking, man. Like, I don't know, joke my word. Like, you know how I feel about your jokes. Like, sometimes your jokes don't be funny, but when you're serious be funny as all get out. Sometimes you do a good job. You hit the nail right on the head with the joke, but
I be off. I know a lot of times, y'all, it's true. My joke, I swear I'm funny, but I'm not. I'm really not.
She's funny when she's serious.
Exactly. That's why.
And she's like, I don't understand. I'm being serious.
I'm being so serious, y'all. Like, they be literally laughing at my pain.
I'm laughing at my pain.
They be laughing at my pain.
I think it's because your intonations, when you're serious, make it sound like it's a joke. Like I'm not explaining. One day I'm gonna record you so you could just hear it for yourself.
AKA communication. Y'all see what I'm talking about?
That's it. That's
it. That is how we end today's episode. That was great.
Well, just to clean it all up, y'all, just make sure that you're communicating what's best for you, but make sure that you guys are hearing what other people are saying to you as well. Like, make sure that you're always actively listening, use your I statements, go to therapy if you need to,
yes.
If you feel like it's not coming across, or you feel like people are really giving you pushback, or maybe you're pushing back on others. Just seek therapy if you can. YouTube communication style.
Yes.
You will find how you communicate with others may not come across the way you think it does. So, just make sure you're listening to people out there on how you communicate with them and how they would kind of like you to kind of direct that.
Yes, and check your blind spots. A lot of times we think that the other person is not understanding us or the other person is not communicating effectively. And in actuality, it's us. We're the problem. And it's okay to understand that you're the problem, but as long as you stop, take a moment, fix it, check your blind spots before you jump in lanes. You know how that goes. But yeah, communication is important, and whether you're speaking with friends and family or coworkers, it is very important that you always remain a level of respect when talking to either circles.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us in this episode. Feel free to hit us up on all social media platforms. Also comment, let us know what you think. Hit us up on 30nms.com. That's 30ANDAMESS.com, as well as all social media platforms. We are 30nms. We love you. Stay cleaning up. We got a lot of progress and a lot of growth to do, and we will catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.